Welcome to
All right,
NG
let's
Reviews.
get
I'm
into the
Chris Dices,
review
and
and
here
see
to
what
do
this
a
is all
little
about. So
review
when
of,
I started
Yuno
playing this game,
and
the opening is really
Celestial
nice.
Elephants. I thought it was a
The
very
music
cute and adorable little game. You know,
is
all the
really,
little
really
cutesy
good.
little
Actually, I think that's one of the highlights of the game.
going around.
And you start off as
this
this elephant called
yes. So
Yuno.
that was the
I'm
reason why I
hopefully
decided
saying
to
it
review the
correctly.
game. Looks like
And
I'm a sucker for
he
cute little
comes
blue
down to
elephants that are trying to
Earth
save the world.
and into this
So,
world where
let's get
elephants
into
are
the
treated or
review.
seen as
I'll-
like
I'll-
gods. And he starts this little journey,
screenshots
and
of the full
basically
game. We'll
his
see
job
what
is
it's all
to make the world a better place. That's essentially sort of the goal of it. And he meets this person called Sandara. Hang on, Sandara. And if I explain more about the character, there's more than meets the eye with her, and that sort of storyline goes along. Now, the storyline's a little bit wonky because it sort of seems like the structure is set up nicely, but it kind of fizzles badly in spots where I think you could poke quite a few holes in it. I think is the downside of it. And basically it's they're under the rule of this queen, where there are two sort of groups, the undead and the robots, the Bone Rights and the Miki'ais. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Are sort of blamed for troubles and problems in the kingdom, which is basically, you know, a case of mistaken identity. Now, the storyline's alright. It's alright. It's good enough if you can, you know, class this as like a children's game for young children. I don't think the kids are going to care about the storyline. I think what works for this game is the gameplay is very good. It's very like a Zelda-like children's game in terms of the mechanics, and the puzzles are pretty simple to solve. But I think that's part of the fun and the charm of it too, you know, moving the elephant around, and he's using his trunk to draw water and put out fires, and using his headbutt skills to break boulders and beat off enemies, and sort of solving puzzles like that. I think is what makes the game work pretty well, and I'm quite happy about that. So I felt like it was a really cool game in presentation. I think the presentation and graphics look pretty good. I know some people said that there were some bugs, such as trying to grab items and throwing the key in the hole. And I did notice that too. You can't throw the key from a distance away. You got to be pretty much right next to it, and the targeting is a little bit off. But I think generally the bugs didn't really get in the way of the game, I felt. And I think if you're playing with a kid with this game, I don't think they're going to really worry too much about that sort of thing. So I think the mechanics is good. I think it what was it? The train system, where it's basically like fast travel, and I think it was cute that, you know, you see the elephant riding on the in the mine cart, in terms of that's how he gets from different places. Once you've actually gone to these different locations, you can fast travel back to old spots, and I thought that was a cool little cutscene and sort of thing. So generally, I think overall, I think the game works pretty well. I think it does a good job of things, and I'm generally pleased about it. There's definitely some flaws. It's not a perfect game in terms of there's a few little bugs here and there. The storyline is a bit flimsy at times. I think it's more like a children's storyline, or almost written after the game was completed, or, you know, during the process of making the game, they were just sort of trying to slap together a storyline. Some of the wording is a little bit funny too. I'm not too sure, and some of the jokes kind of do okay. Yeah, maybe I don't have that sense of humor for this sort of game, but I still had a lot of fun with it. I still think it's a very cute game to play. So let's find out what the final score is. And we're back after having a bit of a chat about Yono and the celestial elephants that I picked up a few days, probably about a week ago now. So overall, storyline's a bit childlike. Probably could have been handled better. Some of the bugs would be good to iron out. The camera is a little bit funny. It's sort of like a view of this. I wouldn't mind if they could do more of a 360 sort of view, but that's the decisions that they made. But apart from that, I'm going to give it a 7.5. I was going to give it an 8, but I think there could be a bit more content thrown in there and different things like that. Yeah, I could have easily given it an 8 based on its cutesiness and things like that. But I think this game is definitely more pitched towards younger players. I think adults will still enjoy it too, but I think the game could be probably pushed over very quickly, and they might not feel like they're getting that $20 of value there. But I think for young children, I think this will be a nice little game for them to get into, just to learn, your basic sort of puzzle solving sort of skills that they can build up. So I think that's the pitch for it. I think it's pretty good for children. May not be something for older adults. They might obviously want to do something more challenging, but that's fine. But I think overall the game works pretty well, and I'm very keen to see what they do next after this, because I think it looked quite ambitious, the 3D models and things like that. And yeah, I kind of like the look of the world and that. Something I like to explore better. And maybe they could do a sequel and sort of strengthen up the storyline. I think that would be really, really nice. But yeah, I like the title. I think it's great for the Nintendo Switch, and it's pretty good. So, 7.5. That's it for me, and I shall see you next time.